Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Chocolate, a Thai action film from 2008 that was directed by Prachya Pinkaew and stars JeeJa Yanin. Now, Pinkaew was on a scorching hot streak in the 2000s, with directing credits on films like Ong Bak, The Protector, and now Chocolate. And these are basically three of the most highly enjoyable Thai action films of that era. I would say that Chocolate is actually on the same level of entertainment value as Ong Bak and The Protector. So I feel like I have to do a review of this one since I haven't done it yet in 6 years of having this channel. Just in case there's some people out there who actually have not seen this. Now, the plot is a little bit odd. You have an autistic girl as our lead character who has powerful martial arts skills, and she looks to settle her ailing mother's debts by seeking out the ruthless gangs that owe her family money. So her mom, it basically has kind of like a really bad illness and is in the hospital, and they need money for her medical care. So this autistic girl and her brother basically go out and collect some money from the gangsters, and that results in lots of fights. Now, the first few times I saw this film, I classified it as like a brainless action movie, but over the years, I have learned to appreciate certain aspects of the story and characters. I mean, it's not a particularly well-written movie, so the story's pretty simplistic, a little bit clunky in spots, kind of unrealistic, but it does a good job of creating a likable lead character who is easy to root for. It shows her hardships in life as well as the health issues of her mother, so you want to see the situation get resolved with a happy ending. And the fact that JeeJa Yanin has such an innocent persona in this film really helps. She's charismatic and fun to watch. The actress who played the mother character is also quite good, and Japanese actor Hiroshi Abe has a supporting role as the father. One of my favorite actors, and it's always nice to see him in any film. Now, some of the supporting actors in this, kind of dodgy, not very good, but not a huge deal because we watch these movies for the action. And once the 30-minute mark hits, the viewer is treated to one of the most amazing displays of butt-kicking by a female protagonist in the history of action cinema. Virtually all of the remaining hour of the film is devoted to good quality choreography, some acrobatics, and some bone-crunching maneuvers. The stuntmen and women earn their pay with this one. I mean, they get the crap kicked out of them for entertainment value, and I always appreciate good stunt work. And some people get injured in this, for sure. If you take a look at the outtakes or the post-credit scenes, yeah, some people ended up in the hospital. But I think they turned out okay. Now, the first set piece in the film is in an ice factory. Pretty good scene. It's nothing great, but it's a decent start to the film. I like the environment. You get blue lighting and an icy feel. It also establishes the template for the film. One versus many fights. You could have called this One versus Many, the film, because that's what we get in this. It's the primary type of action set piece we get in Chocolate, and they're fun to watch. JeeJa does do a Bruce Lee impression for the first fight, but only the first fight. So if you don't like it, you don't have to worry about it. She doesn't break the mannerisms out at any point for the rest of the film. But just so you know. So the first fight is pretty good. Then immediately after that scene, we get this classic warehouse battle. That kind of ups the overall quality and intricacy of the fight choreography. Nice variety. Significant use of the warehouse environment, both in terms of fighting strategy and some acrobatics. Good use of props and warehouse-related materials like those big wooden pallets that they use. And there's some good use of those in this. First time I saw this film, this is the scene that won me over in the film. That's when I was locked in and I was really starting to have some fun. And then within minutes after that scene, we get another fight in a meat market area. And this is one thing I want to emphasize. The settings and the scenarios change frequently in this movie. And it avoids the feeling of repetition or monotony. So despite the fact that we're getting multiple one versus many battles basically just stacked on top of each other, the individual scenes feel different based on their settings and the use of the environments. So that's good. Even the color scheme changes. For this scene in the meat market area, it has like deep red lighting and kind of a grimy feel. There's like flies flying around and stuff, and there's meat around there, and people are fighting around the meat. It's pretty cool. Entirely different from like the ice factory or like the warehouse fight. So that's good. Another good scene. And then the other set piece to really point out is the Climax Duel, or I should say the battle. It's a battle. Multi-staged affair. It's what you like to see for a final fight. You want the best fight to be at the end of the film, and that's what they do here. You know, you start like inside a restaurant, you go outside the restaurant, back inside. There's like a sword fight in this section. Then you go back outside under the yellow lights, and there's this crazy like, it's like this signpost battle where you know, they basically have a set or a real location that's in the outside of a building, and people are fighting as they're jumping on signs and like off balconies and stuff. It's crazy. It's awesome. And it's the best scene of the film, and they end the film on it. So it's good. And during the finale, you do get a brief one-on-one duel that I won't spoil. That's pretty cool. So the action in Chocolate, it's what you watch the film for, and it's satisfying. Now, JeeJa Yanin's ability to like do her own moves and stunts is really impressive. It is. Apparently, she's already spent years training in Taekwondo, I believe, before she was cast in the film. And she had to go through additional training for quite a while in like Muay Thai, Thai boxing, and movie stunt work. Because obviously, training out, you know, in real life is different from selling a hit in movies. There's a cinematic quality that you got to hit in the movie realm. You know, if you listen to any stuntman or action star talk about their fighting in movies compared to their real life training, there's definitely some nuances you got to get, and she did good in that, even in her first film role. So there's not a whole lot to complain about with this actress. And looking back on her career, I think most fans have been disappointed in her overall filmography to date. I mean, this came out in 2008, so she's had, 13 years in the industry now? And, you know, it's kind of hit or miss. She never really reached this level again. You know, her first film was her best. So, I mean, I do really enjoy Raging Phoenix. I enjoy that one. A lot of people don't. I'll review that one at some point in the near future. And even when she's in another good action movie like The Kick from 2011, she's just like in a supporting role. So a lot of people are disappointed with her career. I think I've read that she chose to focus more on family life. You know what I mean? So it almost feels like her career kind of ended before it really got rolling, unfortunately. But hey, if she's happy with her decision, that's all that matters. I hope she's having fun doing other stuff out there. So, you know, it's kind of like a summary of her career to date. She's still young enough to come back and make an impact, you know, but you know, we're making an assessment up to this point. So Chocolate, though, is one of the better examples of an action movie that has such entertaining fight scenes that it kind of overpowers any deficiencies in script or story or anything like that. I would consider this a must-watch if you're an action fan. I remember a few times when I used to travel more on airplanes, I used to fire this up on my computer, just like the action scenes, and like people would notice. You know what I mean? It's one of those movies. So check it out if you haven't already. It's got a Blu-ray release now, at least in the US. That's the release that I would probably recommend. And as always, we will see you next time.